That's right. Mageius is using an SNES controller. Just um, interesting to say the least.
Yeah, it's used it last year, and it's a really odd choice of a controller for this game.
Yep.
Okay.
Up here. Ooh.
Ooh, Soner got right into the
track.
dozer.
Yep.
I've had that happen a few times
And then he
accidentally.
died again on the respawn. How did the second death happen?
I have no idea.
That was bizarre. Alright, sorry. Lots of stuff to take care of. Mageius coming out of the long tunnel, approaching the dozer. With a couple of deaths that he had, I don't know where the dozer will be on that one.
Not so sure. Oh my god, I'm amazed Cylinder survived that going through the dozer.
That was pretty iffy. 139 lap 1. Alright, Mageius also climbing out. The dozer should be going back downhill, I think. Nope, it's just sitting there at the top for him. So this is one of the highest speed tracks in the game. The dozer that is at the end of the lap is simply on a timer. That can't really be manipulated much. And depending on what time, the time on the clock that you reach it on all 3 laps will determine where it is on the track. And sometimes if it's in a really good position, you can completely ignore it. Other times you need to brake really hard, which is what Mageius ran into on lap 1.
Yeah. Really common for people to get thrown off after doing this with max upgrade bend for so long.
Thank you to Ace for fixing our crop. Yeah, Mageius just seems to like his weird controller.
And somehow Mageius goes onto the bottom path, which is really hard to do on Zugga.
Yeah, I missed him doing that. You mean generally when you go underneath it's intentional because of how narrow the opening is for it. Yeah, so a little more on the control schemes for this game. Pretty much every controller imaginable has been used. So I personally use the keyboard, which works really well. Other top runners use various controllers, such as an Xbox controller or a GameCube controller. Mageius is using an SNES controller. Other top runners use a flight stick. So pretty much everything works. I think also somebody tried using a wheel. Not sure how that went. Oh, cylinder hitting the texture kill spot.
Did Mageius get soft locked into the dozer?
I do not know where he is.
Yeah, he's soft locked into one of the dozer treads.
But it's not even one that moves. I've never seen that before. Well, I guess that's a win for Cylinder. Huh. Okay. So now both players will be banning 2 tracks that cannot be used for the remainder of the match. Starting with Mageius.
Mageius has Abyss. Cylinder's being Bunta Classic. Defro's Revenge by Mageius.
And to be clear, that is Death Row's Revenge spelled death. So, you know, that's a thing now. It's much more interesting that way.
And Fireman's and I banned by
Bullseye and Sunken City have been banned. See where Mageius takes us. Mageius likes to go for the long difficult tracks. Cylinder did ban Bunta Classic and Fire Mountain, which are the longest and most difficult. Oh, there's also Grabvine, which is open. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to Grabvine. Vengeance. Okay.
Interesting choice. I always felt this track is more semi-pro or galactic than amateur in difficulty.
Yeah, for sure. That's just kind of a nice taste of the difficult tracks to come.
Though I would say Vengeance is more difficult than most galactic tracks, to be honest.
Yeah, certainly more difficult than Death Row's.
I mean, the only tracks I would consider more difficult than are probably like Gravine Gateway, Fire Mountain Ride, Bunta Classic, and maybe the Gauntlet. See who they pick since Bullseye's banned. Cylinder is going with Ben Quaternaros. Okay.
Okay.
Countdown has been given.
So Cylinder is taking Fudsang out on the track with him, who will help clear some of the rocks. Mageius didn't do that.
And this tube is a killer on this track.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Particularly the very first part where you have to dodge asteroids, and on the 624 frames per second on the 64, because tilting just spirals you out of control, it makes it really difficult on that system.
Yep, early death for Mageius. Yeah, the tube on this track constitutes about 40% of the track, and the entire tube is dangerous.
But yeah, there's...
And the stuff leading up to the tube is also dangerous, so...
And here's the cog shaft. And that wall cylinder just passed, if you hit, just kills you so easily. And this is what I mean. Going into tilt, which is really dicey. Narrowly dodges the reactor core beam, which is so dangerous, it will even kill you with invincibility on.
Invincibility, yeah.
Oh, that is an odd place. Mageius got stuck.
Oh man. Okay, he's through. 112 for lap 1.
Yeah.
Which is a decent time for lap 1. Oh, he had a death as well, so that's a really good time for a death.
Yeah. And Mageius crashes into the reactor core beam.
The tube on this track also has a well-known soft block. Unlike the soft block that Mageius encountered on Zuga.
Yeah, this one's a bit well known. I know in your first all-track run, King Bean Dip, you got stuck in it.
Yeah. Eventually I was able to wiggle out somehow. The soft blocks can be avoided if... Well, no, you can get out of them usually by tabbing out of the game.
And they usually are more problematic. Oh, 106 is really solid. Crashed in the figure 8. There's the cog. Oh, Mageius gets hit by the cog shaft. And here comes Cylinder about to overlap him. Here he goes, overlapping him. Ooh. Crashes into the rock.
Oh man.
Both of them crash.
Did Cylinder hit a rock? Is there a rock there?
I saw the textures of a rock exploding when he crashed.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a rock in that section.
There's a rock in that section, but usually it's the tubes jutting out which make it that can kill you there. 332.
All right. So we will wait for Mageius to finish his third lap.
Uh-oh.
I know Mageius has a lot of fun with this game and really like showing it off. I'm honestly surprised that we haven't seen any weird pod picks from him yet. In my match with him, he used slide through most of the match.
But he also used slide a ton in last year's tournament too.
Yeah. Whew. That was a
Whoa!
crazy run through the tube for Mageius. He survived every rock. Nice.
And that is really hard to do regardless of skill level.
That was the sketchiest successful run of that tube I've ever seen. Alright, 518.
They just banning Bullseye again. Executioner by Cylinder.
Sebulba's Legacy. Without Bullseye. I suspect that without that ban, Cylinder would probably be using Bullseye. He's suffering Mars now, which is also a decent pick on this track.
Yeah.
No idea what Mageius will do.
Yeah.
Alright, sticking with Ben.
Okay. And Cylinder going with Mars. And Cylinder's already off. Mageius waiting for Cylinder to restart his game. Yep, here we go.
Any moment now. Alright.
Here we go, both of them are off.
Another
And Mageius with an immediate crash. can tell that Cylinder is not quite comfortable with using Mars on this track.
Which I guess isn't too surprising considering how long it took him to choose a pod.
And Meiji is taking the scenic path.
Wait, do we have a rule for what happens if a player uses a skip when the skip wasn't allowed?
I think it's an automatic disqualification.
So Mageius fell into the lower route at the end of the lap, which is a pretty nasty punishment for falling off of the ledge.
And now he's in double red.
But at least they're on different engines, so he's not getting pulled to the side or anything.
Uh-oh, warning.
Is he gonna boost? Yep, he killed himself there.
Yep.
Sometimes it's easier to just kill yourself rather than repair.
It's especially common with no upgrade runs when repair is so much worse.
Yeah. Oh man, Cylinder cut that turn too tight.
I think he's so used to Bullseye that he took it like Bullseye, even though Mars is like the widest and Bullseye the narrowest pod pretty much.
Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, Mageius, what did you do? And here he goes. He's going to get overlapped right at the end.
Yep. All right. All right. Update the score.
Falls onto the lower path again. So I do remember in any percent no upgrade runs that if you're fast enough, that deliberately falling into that path will actually be faster.
Yeah,
But it's really hard.
It is a shorter distance to do it that way.
But
it is really risky.
Definitely more risky.
Alright, so Ben is being banned this time.
No, I think they're talking about who he picked.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And he just banned Ben. Hit just after that. He said, anyway, let's ban Ben for the next race.
Anyway, called it.
And Cylinder's banning Mageius Speedway, so let's see where Mageius takes us to.
Cylinder is banning a different track each time. I suspect that he is doing it randomly. I know in at least one of his matches he chose all of the tracks at random.
NW Mountain Run, no Ben. This is going to be interesting.
I'm expecting a Mars pick from Cylinder.
Yeah. This is ready.
Right.
Let's see. Mageius is using Toy Dampener, which is a really interesting pick.
Oh, sorry. To be precise, it's Doid Tamper. That's what we determined. And Mahonic.
Monic's the track favorite, and certainly not a bad bet for this track.
Yeah, Mahonic is a really good pick here. He is very similar to Mars in the way he performs.
It's the fourth fastest pod after Beto, Ben, and Bowles, too.
Yeah.
And Toy Dampener, interestingly enough, you would use this on Andobi Mountain Run because he is the best pod for the Galactic Circuit run without upgrades. Well, that's an interesting path I don't usually see.
Yep. Definitely a scenic route. Now gotta check out the ice sculptures.
There he goes. And here we go. The pipeline catches fire.
Cylinder needs to be at max on heat going into the canyon here. He hit the wall, so he'll be at quite low heat going in.
And this is a place where if you don't do it well, you're going to underheat to begin with because it's so hard to use the booster here, apart from this one little spot, and he doesn't go for it, just didn't feel comfortable.
Especially with Mars.
Mahonic. His traction can be a very greasy pod if you don't know how to use him.
See how he takes the shortcut. Mageius approaching the canyon now. Oh, he got put on the main path.
Yeah.
That's something you don't usually see.
I don't think the only time I've seen it so far in a run was with the Wooter Jansen runs of 2005.
The main path is significantly easier. It basically cuts the number of really sharp turns from 6 down to about 2.
But also is like significantly longer.
Yep.
I think it's probably...
Oh man.
What?
Is he going to take the shortcut? No, it's too late now.
On this track, that 10th shortcut's a really significant one.
Yeah. He probably would have had he not been damaged on the left on the right engine, I mean.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh!
Doesn't look like Cylinder is used to coming out of that cave, or the pipe.
I think he let go of the boost too late and crashed.
Yeah. See how he does through the switchback section. More cautious than he did lap 1.
Kind of understandable after taking that crash right beforehand.
Yep. And the tent is pretty clean.
Yeah.
Lost a little bit of speed, but nothing major.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of felt I was going to be crashed from that angle. And Cylinder clearly knows the little route that Hayadoro found a few months ago.
Yep. Yeah, so as a pod, Toy Dampener is pretty mediocre in all respects, except that he does have really good cooling.
He has the best cooling ratio in the game. And he's a lot better pod without upgrades than fully upgraded, because he's probably the best bet for the Galactic Circuit run without upgrades.
Yeah.
In fact, it's actually... Whoa! In fact, it's actually...
Oh, go ahead.
In fact, it's actually most optimal to use Toy the remainder of the Galactic Circuit once unlocking him Executioner with a no upgrade run.
Uh-huh. It's just strange because we almost never see Toy in max upgrade runs.
Yeah. He handles very similar to Eevee and Bullseye, but his turn rate's far lower.
Yeah. I believe his turn rate is the same as Ben's.
His turn response, though, is high, which is kind of good.
Anyway, so the score is now 4-0. We'll see where Mageius takes us for track 5. This is
that has got to be one of the weirdest respawns I've ever seen.
Yep.
He was on one path and then got spawned at the end of another path.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he missed. He took the ice path that didn't have the bridge. He crashed in that section, and it respawned him at the end of the bridge.
Huh. So this match is a best of 9. So first player to 5 points wins. I suspect the problem Mageius has with his controller is that because he's turning on a D-pad, it's slow for him to change directions.
Never thought about that. That's a really good point.
He has to lift up his finger and push the other button in order to change turning directions.
Well, that was fun to see Toy Dampener for once, though.
Yep.
Let's see. Mageius is banning Bullseye again. Summoner's banning Halagorage.
See if Mageius takes us to grab flame. I'm actually surprised that he hasn't done that yet.
Let's see, he's going to be typing out his track. Oh, he's going to do no upgrades, it looks like.
Still hasn't chosen a track yet.
You called it, King Bean.
Sure did.
Gravine Gateway with no upgrades. This is... Gotta have some fun. This is a really interesting track without upgrades.
Yeah, especially with Bullseye being banned. So,
yeah.
I mean, Neva and Slide and Anna can become decent picks now. Mars is also fine. The fastest is Bull's Roar, but he's insanely difficult.
So Bulba's
Bulba
also a
would
good
also be
option
nice.
too.
I really liked Bulba on this track.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have
But
no idea which pods either of them will take.
because
This is one
overall,
super
I would say the
complicated.
easiest pods to use on this track without upgrades are probably Mars and Bullseye.
That's right, Materetti. That is my favorite quote from this game.
Okay. Cylinder's showing us his upgrades. Those are all good. Just waiting on Mageius. Okay. Looks like he's good. Really curious to see who each one picks here.
Yeah, for sure. He's hovering Bullseye, who was banned.
Is Cylinder seriously using Bozzy for this?
That's fantastic. Except it's not fantastic. Bozzy is a pretty poor choice for this track.
Yeah. And without upgrades, he's practically awful in everything.
Let me look at his stats here. Okay, so Bozzy's turning is kind of bad. His boost thrust is on the higher end, so that's fine. His speed is low. His acceleration is good, so that's nice. And his traction isn't too high. So he's not a terrible bot for this track,
And
but
Mageius is using Toy.
alright.
And Toy without upgrades is certainly not a bad bet for this track.
Yeah, Toy is actually the better pick between the two. But neither of them are very good, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd only see Toy, particularly no upgrade Toy on this track, only in Galactic Circuit no upgrade runs.
Uh-huh. I want to see somebody use Rats here, because, Rats is the best.
Oh, he'd go RIP really quickly here.
Oh, and they are perfectly in sync. How convenient for me.
And one other thing is that about this track is that this is one of the very few tracks of the game where you have to use the brakes.
Yes, multiple times.
And Bozzy has one of the worst brakes in the whole game.
Oh, I didn't look at that. Let's see here. Bozzy 42, Toy 25. Yeah, Bozzy does have terrible brakes. Toy has excellent brakes.
He actually, I think, has the best brakes in the game, along with
Yes,
Bullseye
he
and
does.
Land Sandage.
Yes, he does.
I seriously wonder if Cylinder picked Bozzy as a troll move here.
I don't know. I don't think he's trolling. He's probably just having fun.
Yeah.
And he is doing fine with Bozzy.
Yeah. He's also a pod because his turn response is so high. Is one that's very easy to oversteer with.
Alright, so he's approaching the swamp. Mageius died in the jungle, which is an extremely treacherous part of the track, because the walls are concealed by foliage.
Yeah, I know Enfer like to call this section the jungle.
Bozzy taking the swamp really slow.
Kind of have to when his brakes and handling are so bad.
Uh-huh.
Wozzy also has the dubious honor of having still heating up faster than cooling down, even fully upgraded. Is it just me, or I think Mageius is actually doing better with pods that have lower max turn rates?
I think so too. It's having a higher turn rate makes it easier to die, because you can turn into the wall and hit the wall harder. And yes, Andy, you have an excellent point. The funny thing though is that in the lore, Bozzy is is kind of bad as a pod racer, as a pilot. I mean.
Yeah, in the lore, he's considered like a nervous Nelly who stays more in the pits than on the track.
Maybe his nervousness is what makes him okay on Abyss.
Well, Cylinder's certainly playing Bozzy nervously.
Excellent role-playing, Cylinder. Some top-notch gameplay right there. We all play Ben Quadraneros like he's this crazy madman, but, you know, that is definitely not what his personality is.
And you gotta laugh how in the movie he stalls and blows up on the starting line without moving a single bit, and yet he's the best pod in the game, pretty much.
Hey, he was sabotaged.
I think by
Apparently there's a
Bumpy,
good
not
reason he was
Sebulba.
sabotaged.
I think he was sabotaged by Bumpy and not Sebulba.
Yeah, who knows? There's this giant convoluted web of who's sabotaging whom in the movie. Or trying to murder whom. Just, you know,
Yeah, that's the case with Elon Mack and Beto.
Yeah, because Beto is an assassin, and Elon Mack is trying to assassinate him because he killed someone. I don't remember.
I think he killed his father, who was a crime lord.
Yeah, something like that. But all the lore behind all the pod racers is so ridiculous. It's great.
Yeah.
Mageius going through the swamp on lap 2. Pretty decent. He hasn't died in a few turns, which is always a feat. Yeah, Elon Mack's real name is Cam Nail. It's the most I don't know, discreet ever. I usually don't see runners die right there. Where Cylinder did. Let's see how Cylinder does on a swamp lap 3.
Uh-oh.
Ooh! I was about to say he narrowly avoided all times. All of them except, well, 2, apparently.
Well, to be fair, I struggle with that section even with Bullseye, who's the most optimal here.
E. Oh, that's what Mageius did on his last lap. Previous lap.
Yeah.
And he's entering the city and will be soon at the finish line. Mageius going into the long canyon section. He skips the shortcut. And a 742.
Oh, man.
This track gets really long when you're running it without upgrades.
Yeah. The record for this track is like 520 without upgrades. And that's just absurdly hard to do when you have to use bowls for it, pretty much.
Yep.
I mean, I would say without upgrades, a decent time would probably be below 7 minutes, particularly 6:30.
Yeah, I don't really remember. No upgrade.
Yeah, this is coming from someone who actually does no upgrade runs, so
I've done this track no upgrades a couple times.
yeah.
I just never remember times for things.
Yeah.
So, final swamp section for Mageius.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh no, he fell off the bridge.
Is he gonna get sub 10 minutes?
Please hope so. Looks like he's just gonna barely get under 10 minutes.
9:54.
9:54. Ooh.
Alright, let's see if these guys want to come in for an interview. Sub 10 hype? Okay, Cylinder's coming up. Hello, Cylinder.
Hey guys.
How was that match for you?
It was quite interesting. I had a lot of things that I learned in the previous matches that were useful, and I also had the opportunity to try out some new things, new racers also.
Uh-huh.
So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Excellent. That Bozzy pick was interesting.
Yes, it's Buzzy is always, left aside, and I wanted to try out how performing under no upgrades.
Yeah.
And as he is the favorite of the worst track ever, couldn't be that bad. But it appears that he's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Although it was really cool to drive. It's really slidey. You got to anticipate really long before the turns, and it was like driving a low rider car.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
It looked like you had a lot of difficulty figuring out who to pick for Sebulba's legacy.
So sorry.
It looked like you couldn't decide who to pick for Sebulba's legacy.
Yeah. I was not able to decide very quickly. I first wanted to go with Bowls, and I hit the roster with Moss, and I thought it was a nice pick to try out. It is basically really fast, I guess. The steering is not really optimal, but it did the job. I just actually it was the first time I did pick Mars, so I wasn't used to the steering. I crashed a lot in the tight corners, stuff like that. So it was it wasn't. I wasn't at my top skills tonight.
Well, Mars is actually a really good pod in general.
Yes, that's true. I didn't have the idea and the chance to train with him, but I will definitely in the future. I guess he's got potential, and he is the best to find skips. Once I've been told.
Yep. Hello, Mageius.
Hey, Mageius.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you at all, Mageius.
Sorry, microphone was muted.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yep. How was the match for you?
It was okay. I still need to get like the perfect sensitivity out when, when actually racing, because it's just like I've tried with an analog stick, it just doesn't feel right. Mouse and keyboard just never felt right, and it's just like SNES controller problem is just like it's just not as perfect as I'd like to get it, but it's like literally just using keyboard, so it's just like getting that perfect sensitivity level.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Mageius, that you did a really good thing with low pods, because you were much more stable with Toy and Band than other pods you picked.
Yeah, Toy and Band are basically the ones that I'm usually good with, because it's just like needing to control it better than anything else. It's like I can handle a lot of the other stuff, but it's just more just getting the control down, and that's just why I'm just trying to figure out what that perfect sensitivity is, because D-pad and just getting the perfect turns.
Yeah.
Which I'm really curious, Mageius, which controller do you use? So you told us you don't use the keyboard?
SNES controller, because actually having a D-pad, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing you use with a keyboard. It's just you're literally having a controller for it.
All right, that's exotic.
It works. It's just just getting that everything just like perfectly on that one. It works. You just gotta get it just that perfect feel. But once it's done, it's just one of those things. It's like once you have it locked in, it's just like this is good. It just feels like good on that one if you got it locked in perfectly.
Yeah.
All right.
We should probably start wrapping this up.
One thing.
Our
You
next...
have to see a soft lock.
Oh yeah, there's that soft lock.
Yeah, in the machine, in the engine, in the
into the dozer treads.
In the bulldozer, yeah.
I don't think we've seen the soft lock there before.
As I said, getting to show it in a like, hey, it happens. Someone probably clipped it. It's one of those things. Just like it's a good clip for the tournament.
Well, this was
Chill.
the second soft lock I've seen in the tournament. Another guy got soft locked into the dozer and Spice Mine Run in the same predicament as you, Mageius.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more of the it happens, so
Yep.
I still had fun with it. So you guys have fun watching it?
Sure did.
All right.
Yeah, we should wrap this up.
Okay.
Le6lindre and Mageius for running. Our
No problem.
good
Thank
game.
you, guys.
Yeah, it's
Our
been fun.
next match.
Thank you again.
Our
Meg.
next match will be tomorrow.
You too.
Yeah, so tomorrow at 10 a.m. will be Nectarine versus Ace, which should be a very interesting match. And then there will be another match later that day, and a few matches on Sunday. So plenty of racing coming up. But yeah, thank you guys again for running. Hope you had a
No
good night.
problem.
And thanks to SpeedGaming for hosting us.
All right. Have a good day, everyone, and may the force be all with you.
Hey, we all try. We all try.
Bye bye.
Well,
See you guys.
take care.
Bye all.